Have you ever faced someone who made your life hell, but you didn't want to stoop to their level? We've all been there, battling not just our enemies, but the anger and resentment within ourselves. Now imagine this. What if you could destroy your enemies without a single harsh word, without lifting a finger? Jesus showed us the way, and when you combine his teachings with the ancient wisdom of the Stoics, you hold a power so great it's almost unfair. You become a master of your fate, a calm force of nature, able to disarm even the most vicious opponents. This isn't just about being the bigger person, it's about winning the most important battles of your life without losing your soul. Today we're going deep into 13 techniques that can transform how you deal with every conflict in your life, turning your enemies into dust without ever stepping into the ring. Are you ready for a real game changer? Number 1. Delve into the depths of your adversary. Let's start with a technique that's as old as time, understanding your enemy. This isn't about playing nice or being friends with them. It's about getting inside their head, figuring out what makes them tick, and using that information to your advantage. Think of it like a chess game. You wouldn't make a move without considering what your opponent is thinking, right? Jesus taught us to love our enemies, but that doesn't mean we're letting them off the hook. It means we're taking control. When you understand what your enemy wants, what they fear, and what drives them, you've already won half the battle. Proverbs chapter 20 verse 5 says, "The purposes of a person's heart are deep waters, but one who has insight draws them out." Your job is to become that person of insight, to dig deep into your enemy's motives and use that knowledge to turn the tables. Here's what you can do. The next time someone tries to push your buttons, don't react right away. Instead, ask yourself, why are they doing this? What are they really after? Are they trying to make themselves feel powerful? Are they projecting their insecurities onto you? Once you understand their true motives, you can respond in a way that disarms them, making them realize they can't control you. This isn't just about being smart. It's about taking the upper hand without lifting a finger. Number 2, choose your battles wisely. Here's the harsh truth. Not every battle is worth your time. We live in a world that glorifies the idea of standing your ground and never backing down. But think about it. How many of those battles actually matter? Jesus knew this when he said, "But I tell you, do not resist an evil person. If anyone slaps you on the right cheek, turn to them the other cheek also." Matthew chapter 5 verse 39. He wasn't telling us to be weak. He was telling us to be strategic. There's power in walking away from a fight that doesn't serve you. It's about conserving your energy for the battles that truly matter. The Stoics preached the same thing. Focus only on what you can control and let go of the rest. Don't waste your energy on conflicts that don't bring you closer to your goals. Try this out. The next time you're faced with conflict, ask yourself, is this really worth it? What will I gain from engaging in this? If the answer is nothing, walk away. This doesn't mean you're surrendering. It means you're choosing to fight only the battles that have a real impact on your life. Think of it like this. Every time you engage in a pointless battle, you're draining your energy that could be used to achieve your real goals. Save your strength for the fights that matter, and watch how much more effective you become in achieving your true objectives. Number 3, speak with calm and clarity. Let's talk about the power of words. We've all heard that sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. Well, that's a lie. Words have immense power. They can build people up or tear them down, start wars or bring peace. But here's the thing. The loudest voice isn't always the most powerful. Jesus never needed to shout to make his point. His words were calm, measured, and full of authority. The Stoics understood this too. They believed that the way you speak reflects the way you think. If you're calm and clear, people will listen to you. they'll respect you. But if you're loud and chaotic, you lose credibility and control. Consider doing this. Practice the art of speaking less, but saying more. The next time you're in a heated discussion, take a moment to breathe before you speak. Lower your voice, slow down your words, and choose them carefully. You'll find that people are more likely to listen to you, to take you seriously, and to respect what you have to say. This isn't just about winning an argument, it's about commanding the room without having to shout. And remember, the calmer you are, the more control you have over the situation. Number 4, seek the shared path. This might sound controversial, but your enemy is not as different from you as you might think. Sure, they might be on the opposite side of an issue, but deep down, they have the same basic needs and desires as you. Jesus understood this, which is why he focused on reconciliation rather than division. He knew that if you could find common ground with someone, you could build a bridge instead of a wall. The Stoics also preached the importance of finding shared values, even with those you disagree with. When you focus on what you have in common rather than what divides you, you can turn even the fiercest enemies into allies. Here's an approach you can take. The next time you're in a conflict, instead of zeroing in on the differences, try to identify something you both care about. Maybe you both want the best outcome for your community, your workplace, or your family. Use that common goal as a foundation to start building a resolution. This approach doesn't just diffuse the conflict, it opens up the possibility for cooperation and mutual respect. Remember, every enemy has something in common with you. Find it, and you'll find a way to turn the situation around. Number 5, appeal to their inner values. If you really want to neutralize your enemy, appeal to their better nature. Now, this doesn't mean you have to agree with them or even like them, but it does mean recognizing that even the most difficult people have something good inside them. Jesus did this all the time. He didn't just see people's actions, he saw their hearts. And by speaking to the good in people, he was able to bring out the best in them. The Stoics believed in the same principle. They taught that every person has a spark of reason and virtue, no matter how buried it might be. When you appeal to this part of someone, you bypass their defenses and connect with them on a deeper level. Give this a try. The next time you're dealing with someone difficult, instead of confronting them head-on, try appealing to their sense of integrity or fairness. For example, if someone is being unfair, you could say, "I know you value fairness as much as I do, so let's find a solution that works for both of us." This isn't about manipulation. It's about connecting with the part of them that wants to do the right thing. And when you do this, you'll often find that people are much more willing to work with you rather than against you. Number 6, use humor wisely. Humor can be a powerful weapon in your arsenal, but it's a double-edged sword. Used correctly, it can diffuse tension, disarm your opponent, and bring light to a dark situation. But used poorly, it can backfire and escalate the conflict. Jesus often used parables, stories with a touch of humor, to make his points in a way that was both disarming and profound. The Stoics also recognized the value of humor. They knew that laughter could break down barriers and show that you're not taking the situation or yourself too seriously. But this isn't about making fun of your enemy or using sarcasm to belittle them. It's about using humor to show that you're in control, that you're not rattled by the conflict, and that you're open to finding a resolution. The next time a situation gets tense, try to lighten the mood with a bit of appropriate humor. It could be a self-deprecating joke or a comment that acknowledges the absurdity of the situation. Just be careful not to come across as mocking or dismissive. Humor, when used wisely, can shift the dynamic from conflict to cooperation. It's about showing that you can rise above the situation and that you're not afraid to find the lighter side of things. Before we dive into the next technique, take a moment to reflect on these insights. If you've found value so far, hit that like button and subscribe to our channel. Your support helps us bring more transformative content to you, and we'd love to hear your thoughts. Drop a comment below and share how these strategies have impacted you. Let's keep this journey going together. Number 7. Offer empathy. Empathy is often seen as a weakness in a world that prizes toughness and winning at all costs. But in reality, empathy is one of the most powerful tools you have to disarm your enemy. Jesus was the ultimate example of empathy. He didn't just see people's actions, he saw their pain, their struggles, and their humanity. And by offering empathy, he was able to transform even the hardest hearts. The Stoics also understood the importance of empathy. They believed that by understanding others, by seeing the world through their eyes, you could find common ground and resolve conflicts more effectively. When you offer empathy, you're no longer reacting to your enemy's attacks, you're responding to their needs. And this can completely change the dynamic of the conflict. Consider this. The next time you're in a conflict, try to put yourself in the other person's shoes. Ask yourself, what is this person really feeling right now? What are they afraid of? What do they need? Then address those emotions directly. You'll find that when people feel understood, they're much more likely to back down and engage in a constructive dialogue. Empathy isn't about being soft, it's about being smart. It's about winning the war by winning over your enemy's heart. Number 8. Embrace the art of compromise. Compromise has gotten a bad rap, especially in a world that often equates it with weakness or defeat. But here's the truth. Compromise is one of the most powerful tools you have to not only resolve conflict, but also to achieve a greater victory. Jesus wasn't afraid to compromise when it meant achieving a greater good. The Stoics also believed in the balance and flexibility that comes with compromise. They taught that life isn't black and white, and sometimes the best way to move forward is to find the middle ground. Compromise doesn't mean you're losing, it means you're finding a way to win that doesn't destroy relationships or burn bridges. Here's something to try. Think about a situation where you've been unwilling to compromise. Ask yourself why you're holding on so tightly. Is it really worth it? Then, try to find a way to meet the other person halfway. It might feel uncomfortable at first, but you'll find that compromise often leads to solutions that work better for everyone involved. This isn't about being weak. It's about being wise enough to see that there's more than one way to win. Number 9. Seek external aid without shame. In a culture that glorifies self-reliance, asking for help is often seen as a sign of weakness. But here's the thing, no one gets through life alone, and there's no shame in seeking help when you need it. Even Jesus had his disciples. The Stoics, too, recognized the value of counsel and support from others. When you're in the thick of a conflict, your perspective can get clouded. That's why it's so important to seek external aid, whether it's from a mentor, a friend, or a professional. This isn't about admitting defeat. It's about showing that you're committed to finding the best possible outcome, even if it means admitting that you can't do it all on your own. Consider doing this. If you're stuck in a conflict that you can't seem to resolve, don't be afraid to ask for help. This could be as simple as talking things over with a trusted friend or seeking advice from someone who's been in a similar situation. Sometimes an outside perspective is all you need to see things clearly and find a way forward. Remember, asking for help doesn't make you weak, it makes you smart. It shows that you're serious about finding a solution and that you're willing to do whatever it takes to achieve it. Number 10. Forgiveness. Forgiveness is often misunderstood. It's seen as something you do for others, as if by forgiving someone, you're letting them off the hook. But in reality, forgiveness is something you do for yourself. It's one of the most powerful tools you have to free yourself from the burden of anger and resentment. Jesus emphasized forgiveness throughout his teachings, not because it lets the other person off the hook, but because it frees you from the past. The Stoics also believed in the power of letting go. They taught that holding on to grudges is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. When you forgive, you're not saying that what the other person did was okay. You're saying that you refuse to let their actions control your life anymore. Here's something to reflect on. Think about someone you need to forgive. It could be a major betrayal or a small slight that's been bothering you. Write down how holding on to that grudge has affected your life, your mood, your relationships, your peace of mind. Then make the decision to forgive. This doesn't mean you have to reconcile with the person or even tell them you've forgiven them. This is about you, not them. Let go of the anger, and you'll find that you're free to focus on the things that really matter. Number 11. Growth from the ashes of conflict. Conflict is often seen as something to avoid, something destructive. But what if I told you that conflict is one of the greatest opportunities for growth? Jesus faced countless conflicts, yet he emerged stronger each time, turning each challenge into an opportunity to teach and inspire. The Stoics believed that adversity is the best teacher, that it's in the struggle that we find our true strength. When you face conflict, don't just focus on winning, focus on what you can learn, on how you can grow. Every conflict is a chance to refine your character, to test your values, and to emerge stronger and wiser. Consider this approach. The next time you're in a conflict, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can this make me stronger? Don't just focus on getting through the conflict, focus on how you can grow from it. This shift in perspective can turn even the most challenging situations into opportunities for personal development. Remember, the goal isn't just to survive conflict, it's to thrive because of it. Number 12. Setting boundaries. One of the most powerful things you can do in any conflict is to set boundaries. Jesus set boundaries all the time. He knew when to engage and when to walk away, when to heal and when to move on. The Stoics also emphasized the importance of boundaries as a way to protect your inner peace. Setting boundaries isn't about keeping people out. It's about protecting what's important to you. It's about making sure that you're not being drained by other people's demands, that you're not losing yourself in the process of trying to please everyone else. Take this into account. Take a look at your life and identify where your boundaries are weak or non-existent. Is there someone who's constantly overstepping, draining your energy, or pushing your limits? It's time to set some boundaries. This could be as simple as saying no to something you don't want to do, or as complex as having a difficult conversation with someone who's taking advantage of your kindness. Whatever it is, make sure your boundaries are clear, firm, and non-negotiable. You'll find that when you set boundaries, you're not just protecting yourself, you're also teaching others how to respect you. Number 13. Remember you control your reactions. Finally, and perhaps most importantly, remember that you are in control of your reactions. This is where the real power lies, not in controlling others, but in controlling yourself. Jesus faced unimaginable challenges, yet he always remained calm and in control. The Stoics believed that the only thing we truly control is our own mind, our own reactions. No matter what happens, no matter how provoked you are, you always have a choice in how you respond. And it's that choice that determines whether you rise above the conflict or get dragged down into it. Think about doing this. The next time you feel yourself reacting out of anger or frustration, pause. Take a deep breath and remind yourself that you're in control. Ask yourself, what's the best way to respond in this situation? What response aligns with my values and goals? Then choose your reaction carefully. You'll find that the more you practice this, the more control you'll have over your life, and the less power others will have over you. As we wrap up this journey, remember that the greatest victories aren't won on the battlefield. They're won within yourself. By combining the teachings of Jesus with the wisdom of the Stoics, you have the tools to overcome any conflict, to destroy your enemies without ever lifting a finger. This isn't just about winning, it's about living with integrity, peace, and strength. It's about becoming the kind of person who doesn't need to fight because they've already won the most important battle, the battle within. Before you go, if you've found these insights valuable, hit that like button and subscribe to our channel. It's your support that helps us keep bringing you content that makes a difference. And don't forget to comment below. Let us know which of these strategies you're going to start using in your own life. We're in this together, and we'd love to hear your thoughts. Let's continue this journey of growth, peace, and inner strength.